Okay, so we're still in Module 4 and we're still talking about graphing lines, but this time we're going to be talking about it if we're given an equation of the line that's already in slope-intercept form. Okay, so this is Module 4, and we're going to be graphing a line, given its equation. In slope-intercept form. So we already know what the slope and the y-intercept are. But before I do that, let's go through a couple things in review. So remember what we talked about. We said that the slope, right, in our equation it's the letter m, and we talk about this as a ratio, right? It's a fraction. It's change in our y-coordinate, change in y, over our change in the x-coordinate. Okay, so what that means is change in y is up or down. Right, so if I go up or down over right or left. Okay, so if my numerator is positive, I go up. If it's negative, I go down. If the denominator is positive, I go right. If it's negative, I go left. So let me and I'm going to explain one more concept to you before we start actually graphing lines. When I look at a fraction, right, when I talk about, say, a fraction that's negative 2/3, right, that's the same. I could just throw my negative sign up into the numerator. So it could be negative 2/3, or, I should use or, right, positive 2/3. These are all the same. They're all equivalent values. So if I have a negative fraction, I can put the negative number with my numerator or with my denominator. I can't do it with both. Okay, so let's just give a couple examples, right? If I have a slope, or my m equals, say, we'll say negative 2/3, right? This means I'm going to go down 2 and to the right 3. Okay, if my slope m is, say, 2/5, it's positive, right? So that means I'm going to go up 2, right 3. Okay, and then as I go through some of the examples later on, I'll show you that we'll end up on the same line even if we move back our negative sign back and forth. Okay, so let's try a couple of examples. All right. Let's say we want to graph the line y equals negative 5/2 x minus 3. Okay, so we've already learned how to identify our slope, right? So our slope is the coefficient of the x, right, which was negative 5/2. And remember, since it's a negative, I can throw my negative sign in my numerator or in my denominator, but not both. But I'm going to put it up there with my numerator. And my y-intercept is the point 0, -3. Okay, so now I've identified both the slope and the y-intercept. I want to start here. I want to start at this point, at the point 0, -3. So I go to my graph, and I go to this point 0, -3, right? So I always start at my y-intercept. So then I look at my slope, right? My slope is -5/2. So this means from that point, I move down 5 because it's negative, right? And then I move to the right 2. So from this point, I move down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I move to the right 2. 1, 2. So there's another point. So now I have 2 points, and I can simply draw my line. I can put some arrows on either end to indicate that my line goes on forever. Okay, now remember I had also mentioned before, right, that you could have put your negative sign in the denominator, right? Or I could have said that it was 5 over -2. And I just want to show you that if I did it that way, I would still end up on the same line. Okay, so this would mean what? I would go up 5 from wherever I started, right? And then to the left 2 because it's negative. So negative means left. So if I started at the same point and it said I go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I go left 2, 1, 2, there's my other point, right? So I could have gone either way. I could go down, right, down 5, and then right 2, or I could go up 5, left 2, right? And it gets us to the same point, or to the same line. Okay, let's try another one. So let's graph the equation y equals 2x minus 1. Again, we have to identify our slope and our y-intercept. So our slope is 2, right? And if it's a whole number, remember I can rewrite that as just 2 over 1, right? And what does 2 over 1 mean? Well, it's positive, so it means I go up 2 and right 1, right? And then my y-intercept is the point 0, -1, right? Because here's my b, right? That's my b. And this, the coefficient, right, is my m. Okay, so I have my y-intercept, right? You said it was this, and again, this is where I start. I start here. So let's go and find where 0, -1 is. Right? So I'm going to start here. And from there, my slope tells me how to move. Right? My slope is 2 over 1. So it means up 2, right 1. So from this point, I went up. I go up 2. So I go 1, 2, right? Up 2. And then I go right 1. So I go up 2, right 1. And there's my second point. up 2, right 1. There's my second point, and I can draw my line. And now just as a sanity check, remember I said that anything that slopes upwards to the right has a positive slope. So does that make sense? That our slope was positive and our line actually slants the correct way. Right, if we go back to this example here, right, our slope was negative, and sure enough, right, it slants downward to the right. This is a negative slope. And so again, at the end of the day, we can always take a look at our lines and see whether or not at least they have the correct slant. Okay, let's do one more. That's in the form that we want to see it in. So this is, what if we asked to graph the line y equals 4x. Well, it's pretty close to what we want, right? So think to yourself, if you don't see a b, think y equals 4x plus 0. Okay, so now once I see that, I can recognize that my slope is 4, right, or 4 over 1. My y-intercept is now 0, 0. And again, this is where I start. So I'm going to actually start at my origin, right there. And then what does my slope tell me to do? Slope is 4 over 1. So 4 means up, since it's positive, 4. And it means right 1. Because it's positive, right? So I'm going to go up 1. I'm going to go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then right 1. Right, so that's up 4. Right 1. And my second point now is right here. Somehow I lost my right arrow. Okay, and my line looks like this. Again, it has the correct slant, right? It's rising to the right. So it has the right slant. And I just want to show you something too. Okay, so notice that if I that 4 over 1 is also equal to negative 4 over negative 1, right? A negative over a negative is a positive number, in which case I could go down 4 and left 1, and that would still get me to the same line. Okay, so here's my line again. So if I started at my origin and I went down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and left 1, look at that, I'm still on my line, right? So either way, that's down 4 and left 1. So either way, it gets me to the right line.